Okay. So, welcome back. I would like us to proceed with where we had stopped last time, and that was on data visualization tools. So, we talked about data visualization tools that can be used, and we talked about some Tableau is a data visualization tool. I know some of you have just used SPSS, and sometimes for us as data scientists or data analysts, we normally call them old fashioned tools. Therefore, there are tools that people also need to master on, including the Tableau, Power BI, Google Data Studios, and so on, R Studios, Python coding, and so on. So these are the major tools that can be used also in data visualization and analysis. And what they do, they enable researchers to visualize data in the form of graphs, charts, dashboards for easier interpretations and presentations. Given that you have your data analysis, you have done some collections, that data has no meaning if you don't interpret it, if you don't analyze it, if you don't put it into the right context, and if you don't debug it to ensure that now it can be able to play a role in decision making. Uh, how do these tools work? How do you come up to ensure that you have the forms of graphs, charts, and dashboards being made? First of all, you need to collect data. So you collect the data from multiple sources, and then you can now be able now to start analyzing the data, just the way it should be. Uh, the use of AI can be used to recommend some visualizations based on the data types that are available. I know that you've used SPSS, and normally you use what are called variables. So you use variables, you define variables based on the statistical categories. Say these are ratio type, these are normal types, and so on. Simple things. What if there are discrete data that needs to be interpreted in a manner that you need to code them using numbers? Because sometimes you collect data using theoretical aspect. That's the discrete format. Now you'll have to convert the discrete data into what is called numeric, or yes, numerical data, or qualitative, because we are talking about qualitative and quantitative. So when you are collecting some quantitative data, you'll need to interpret them into numerical format for you now to interpret them as quantitative, because with quantitative you are dealing with numbers, 0, 1, 2, up to 10, or up to 9, sorry, not up to 10, because we know 0 up to 9. Then those others are now additionals of numbers, or just interchanging of figures from one area to from one digit section to the other. So that is what is happening with that. But now with AI, mostly you just ask it with a recommendation, or with a good prompt to ask it maybe to code for you, and it we can be able to run for you the large data, and then be able to do that for you. So within a short period of time, other than coding it slowly and taking longer time before you start analyzing that information. Uh, these tools can also dynamically update the visualizations in the real time for better insights that you have. You shall be able to look at certain data descriptive or qualitative data, and then how can it be interpreted into coded into what are called quantitative for you to be able to analyze them a little bit in various tools. Even if it is in even if it is in Excel. I think there are several things about using Tableau and so on. You'll be able to study. I'll share with you the links because of time limitations and so on. Then we have machine learning platforms. Which machine learning platforms do we use for data visualization? We have what are called TensorFlow, PyTorch, and scikit-learn. So these are very powerful tools, and they are libraries that can be imported within the Python development space. And then you can be able to use them to analyze data that's available for you. The key functionalities of these libraries, mostly they allow researchers to build, to train, and also to deploy machine learning models. And we say that machine learning models are the ones that are defining how AI works, how AI agents operate, how they react or they respond to your prompts, and so on. So they are very important tools. And when you're using these, then they can be used in tasks like classifications, where you want to categorize your data into certain clusters and class categories in terms of the statistical aspects and so on. Then you have the regressional analysis, which can also be done within that. And then you have the clustering and image recognition approaches that can be done on that area. So how they work is that normally they provide you with a built model, and what you can be able to do with them is that you can customize them to suit your capabilities or your building capabilities. And then the second thing is that they also allow data pre-processing and the model evaluations and the hyperparameters training and turning. Because when you are dealing with machine learning, you need to know what is the data, what are the data heads that you are looking at, what is the sample size that you are using it for training, and which one are you using for testing, so that you can be able to have the better results. Then they also support the cloud-based deployment for scalability, which are very, very essentials in that area. Um, there is a video in which you can be able to watch on how to use TensorFlow and then be able to interpret. But the last coding that we did, I showed you how to interact with the Google Colab area, and you are able to write some few codes on Python to be able to implement certain aspects of data analysis and visualization space or interpretations within that. So the same is you just need just to import the TensorFlow libraries, which are friendly and freely within the Python space. And then once you have added them, now you can be able to load any form of data onto them, and they can be able to work with you just well. Um, so several of these tools requires an individual to take much of their time to look into, because majority of you don't have even programming aspect or mindset, and therefore sometimes it's, it requires somebody to learn some basic aspect of such be able to understand them. So I think with time you'll be able to learn several of them. I'll also share that video with you for with TensorFlow. Then automated literature review tools. I want us to look at this automated literature review tools. What tools do you use to automate your literature reviews? You are doing your research, your thesis, your dissertations, and so on. You've reached into literature reviews. You have to study as many books as possible to find the gaps, to find the methodologies, to distinguish between all types of methodologies used, be able to know how to find the gaps within researchers, in order also to try to look at how objectives are being identified and set, how are they being interpreted, how are they being measured within your research paper, and you are reviewing all these. You're trying to find those people who criticized, those people who supported the idea, those research texts that communicated certain other additionals on that paper, and so on. So sometimes it's so wrong that within the review you are trying to find the solution. No, you're trying just to build your research scope to be able to tell what you are thinking about, and if what you are thinking about has been supported by other scientists or researchers across the globe. That's what you are just doing, so that you can build your arguments very well and identify your gap, and now to be able now to start now have a layout of your research work. Now we have tools like Research Rabbit, Iris.ai, and EndNote. So these tools, when I give you, what you need to do is that you need to look at each of them. You need to take your time, study how Iris works, study how Rabbit works, look at how EndNote works, be able to unpack any few inches or hints that are hidden within that space. Majority of these tools, when you are using them for literature review, they normally help you to automate the search and also analysis of the academic papers that have been done based on your research topic. You can as well as use them to extract relevant information that you need for faster literature review. So that is what these tools can do for you. So they are very, very important and very powerful, so that you don't just remain yourself into the old system style. So how do these tools work? Is number one, they use AI recommendations. They use these AIs to recommend for you the related articles that you want to look at. Like when you're doing a research on a certain areas, like maybe oncology and something, just effects of maybe uh, age, age brackets in with relationship to the growth of the country in terms of production and so on. So there are several things you can be doing, but now it can be able to give you all the recommended related articles that are related to your topic of study. But you also need to remember that sometimes when you're dealing with research, topics can tend to change over time. Sometimes the topic you started with might not be the one that you end up with, because as you move on with your research work, sometimes they tend to change on your based on your other related work. Then they also help you to extract key themes. They help you to extract key themes related to.
Saya, you can mute it, please. Saya.
Yes,
Are you mute?
we can extract some key themes, methodologies, and the findings from the texts. Based on what are you looking at? Uh-huh. There's somebody who is making some noise. We try to find out. See, I don't go. I think it's good if we have a silent study area. So we are talking about the the iris. So we have some people just have characters. Okay. Uh, you're doing a research. You need to find the theme of the research, methodologies within that research. What were the findings that various researchers did in that area? Then you want to get the rank sources based on the relevance to the topic. All this needs to be looked at. Uh, you so how does this Iris AI work? So we can as well as look at this Iris and how it is operating, so that you can be able to have a clear let's look at Iris AI. So first of all, you need to get the iris.ai. It's a very powerful tool within that the research scope. So within here, mostly it's a knowledge foundation area, and you can be able to use it with some demo hostility, how they can be able to work. It's also it was innovated by the European Innovation Council to be able to look at various research.
RSI was born out of the belief that we as a humanity already have the knowledge and data to solve our most pressing problems, but we use only 5-10% when we make decisions. So we get our goal to unlock that data and knowledge. And we believe AI is the solution. When we started over a decade ago, the technology was quite early, but now we see tangible results and we have reliable solutions. Our solutions are well suited for the innovators, the product teams, and the leaders who need more than a solution, but focused on quality, accuracy, and practical results. We have a full AI platform consisting of ingestion layer, agentic layer, application layer, and an evaluation layer. It is a place where you can connect your data, however messy it is, unlock and unify it, orchestrate your agentic workflows, evaluate the system results, and well then repeat with full visibility. That simply means fast time to value. So if you are building AI inside your organization and need a trusted partner to help you move faster in the AI journey, let's have a chat.
So, Iris, I want us to look at how Iris AI works within the research space so that you can be able to have a clear uh, understanding of that aspect. Iris AI in research, in literature review. So we want to get just Iris in that literature review. How
This sentence looks fine, but the citation doesn't support it. And this is one of the most common reasons papers get rejected. Most
Getting started with a new research project can be daunting. Theses, dissertations, papers, research grants all require a lot of time spent reviewing scientific literature and discovering new knowledge to shape your ideas. Yes, it's a long way to write the first lines, especially as we're drowning in an ever-increasing number of published research. It all seems to be never-ending. A comprehensive literature review is the foundation of your research project. Conducting a literature review is about making connections with the related works and with your own research. It is simply impossible to search and read everything that has been written and published on a topic. It can be an overwhelming task. But it doesn't need to be that way. Iris AI's research assistant is here to help you speed up the process and manage it successfully. Iris AI Researcher Workspace is an AI-based platform with tools that accelerate your literature discovery process. It includes 5 modules: Explore, Analyze, Filter, Summarize, and Extract. It's a new toolbox for students and researchers who want to process scientific knowledge more effectively. Let's take a look at how it works. This is Alice, who is passionate about growing chili peppers. Today, she's doing a study about capsaicin, a key chemical compound that triggers that sensation of extreme heat. Yes, we all know that feeling. However, Alice isn't interested in culinary ingredients, but in the clinical applicability of capsaicin in treating pain. The Researcher Workspace allows her to explore her topic broadly, discover new intersections, filter her reading list, and create auto-generated summaries of her findings. There are many ways on how she can go about her topic. First, she wants to make new discoveries. That's why Alice does not want to be limited by keywords, which are great if you know exactly what you're looking for, but rather to frame her ideas through context and interdisciplinary research. Moreover, none of us is an expert in all scientific fields and terminology. Not all of us speak library. So Alice has created an open access dataset that contains millions of scientific papers, and then generated an explorative map based on the article she's interested in. The Explore tool reads the paper title and abstract and finds related articles based on the context. Content visualization helps her uncover otherwise hidden connections and identify spot-on articles. Look at this one. The machine is smart enough to indicate the relevancy score to her initial input text. To get a good overview of the topic and see it from multiple perspectives, she will easily create more maps based on other interesting articles. And of course, she can also generate a map and reading list based on her own description of her research topic, hypothesis, etc. Alright, Alice now wants the machine to read the reading list she has created on her behalf. What do these articles have in common? What are their key concepts? Let the Analyze tool do the job and tell us about it. And here we go. Alice can choose to include relevant topics and concentrate on reading these articles first. Or she can filter the list with word analysis and choose to include the key concepts. Lastly, she can summarize the articles that interest her to get a solid overview of the topic and to kickstart her own writing. She chooses these two articles related to anti-cancer therapies and pain management. She generates machine-written summaries from multiple abstracts, full text or full text itself. Another way to go about this is that once Alice has gotten a broad overview, she wants to systematically track all articles contextually related to capsaicin and TRPV1, published in the last 7 years in PubMed. In this case, Alice wants to capture all relevant articles and fine-tune her reading list by using a context filter. A brief description of the additional context she would like to include in the result list. For example, a topic related to anti-cancer drugs. Now she can narrow down her initially huge reading list to only the most relevant and recent articles, while the machine indicates her similarity matches directly in the reading list. Something hard to imagine in traditional keyword engines. She can export this dataset to run even more granular analysis of key topics and further refine her final findings. But what if Alice also has her own reading list created from other resources or subscribed databases? There are not millions, but some hundreds or thousands of articles that she was unable to further distill using keyword queries. Or what if she even has her own collection of PDF articles stored on Google Drive that she needs to analyze to see what to read? The researcher workspace is flexible, so Alice can easily upload her document collections both in citation formats like EndNote, BibTeX, or CSV, as well as full-text documents. Then, she can run the Analyze tool to further define the reading list, apply metadata or context filters, and finally summarize interesting-looking articles. This literature review was no pain for Alice, even though her topic was really hot and painful. Alice saved a tremendous amount of time finding and summarizing new spot-on articles. Now she can use this saved time on writing conclusions she is confident about, and of course, also on growing chili peppers. Automate your research with Iris AI Researcher Workspace.
Now,
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus. And this is your brain when you're in the zone. But getting
this is how that tool operates, and the tool is much powerful and helps you to break down all your research work into what you really want. If you are looking for very powerful related articles related to the keywords that you want to use, you want to find within your research paper, areas, the gaps that you want to identify, we've said that is the tool that you can be able to use. This tool is very powerful. Like the way Father had asked that, what if I go on a physical way to read several books in the library? The same thing here. It reads for you, like you have found several books related to those articles that you want to look at. You have the links to all those books, whether you have accessed them through Google, whether you've accessed them through the Amazon space, and so on. And you want to go through them. So sometimes you can be spending a year reading a book that is not much related to the topic of study, or that is able to provide you with a solution based on what you really want to achieve within your research space. That will take you years, that will take you longer time. But then this tool has the ability to analyze out of the billion or million articles and books that are across the globe that are related to that what you are looking at, and then be able to provide you with the ability to summarize them and break them into only the key relevant ones that can be able to help you to answer your research work. So that is what such a tool can be able to do for you. um, so there you'll be able to go through it and then master the art within that. Now, Iris was designed and developed mostly just for research, has been used in various bigger universities, Harvard, Stanford University, Oxford, and so on. And their importance has been seen across the globe. So let's look at citation management tools. So that one was about data visualization and literature review tools. So you can as well as look at the end note and the rabbit, how they operate within that space. So let's look at now citation management tools. You're supposed to cite various articles, various research papers that you have used within your research work. And remember, there was a question that came that how do I handle the issue that my supervisor has told me that there are references which have not been spotted in the references in line citations, or that have not been cited. And my question was that why did you cite yet you have not why did you reference yet you had not used it or cited it anywhere? You cite what you have used, and you must have written a sentence somewhere that relates to that article, paraphrased it, then you say it there as per who. So when you have spoken about that article, that's when you can be able to reference. So you don't just reference what you have not done what used within your paper. Now, what are these powerful tools that we use in citations? We talked about Mendeley, talked about Zotero. Zotero, you can download it and then install it. We saw the other day how they operate and how you can be able to save articles and then be able to refer to them and even extract the citations directly from it, so that it is very easy for you to obtain them. Then you can now go now to specific lines where the citation was talking about something, so that you can now be able to paraphrase it and align it into your writings. So these tools, Mendeley, Zotero, and the EndNote, mostly helps the researchers to manage, to organize, and to format their citations automatically, so that you don't struggle to go, then you use a paper or a link to start using citation generators online in Google to be able to cite for your paper. No. These ones, they can get you the citations instantly, as you saw when I was demonstrating the other day. Um, Mostly they work to extract for you the data of other data from the academic articles that you have. That's what we meant by saying the metadata. Then we also have the automatically generate for you the citations in various formats. If you want Chicago, if you want MLA, if you want APA, if you want whatever citations format that you want, it can be able to give you. They also allow collaborative references in research teams. And before you do the citation or the references, you always need to know what is the format that your university is using. Various universities use various citations. Number two, assume that you are writing an article or a journal to be able to publish somewhere in a certain Scopus indexed journal area. The question should be, have you read that journal? What are the eligibilities of their publications? What are the criteria and the requirements that they look at? So that when you are writing your paper, you need to streamline your paper to suit what the publication or the journal publishers want, so that you avoid more corrections to be done on your paper. That's why for me, before I publish a paper, I must have read what they want. And believe me or not, I cannot make more than two corrections in any article or journal, and it's published directly. And that paper, once it is published, it goes viral. Like, you'll find so many citations being done even within 2 days or even a day. Why? Because you are writing something that's more relevant to what the readers want to look at. The way you frame your citations within the articles also goes in line with exact what the journal required, what most of the citations or publication bodies require as per the country of origin. Because you might find what you want to if you want to publish the paper in Canada, they might be following a certain different format. If you want to publish the paper maybe with the Indian journal, there is a way they want their papers to be arranged. If you want to publish your paper with ResearchGate, there's a way it is being done. So various journals have their various formats. It's good that you always need to read carefully on the requirements and all the details that they have given you before you start uploading your paper to them, so that you avoid so many corrections. They also allow collaborative references in research teams. Assume that you are writing an article or you are writing a thesis or dissertation with a friend, and you want a friend also to be following up. That's why you saw that some of them will have what are called the Google Cloud enabled, so that when you just synchronize, then even if somebody is offline, you can be able to find them once they get back online, even after you've done even the whole day and so on. They can easily follow it up. So one of the tools is Zotero, and I think we looked at Zotero and I demonstrated how to get that and several things there. Both the extension of your browser and also the desktop install and setup. There are tools for teaching. Anybody, I said all of us are teachers, not just an individual person. When you want to showcase a certain knowledge about a certain field in that area, you'll always be able to show, you'll be able to explain certain concepts or things that have not been finalized, or things that you wish that should be done in the proper way. Therefore, intelligent tutorial systems exist to help people to achieve the best in teaching. We talked about Canvas, we talked about Google Classrooms, we talked about other AI tools like InVideo that can be able even to convert for you from text into what are called the knowledge, or the animated or illustrative concepts. Even though some of them are charging, Canvas, I think Canvas, if you find the one that has been purchased by the institution, then and offered to all the lecturers, you'll find that as a teacher, you just enjoy to use it. You don't need to mind about the costs. That's why you see certain organizations have invested much in what is called Office 365 and Canvas integrations. So some of them you find that organizations have paid for them. So it is just you who is not willing to learn a lot and know how to use it. Like notebook LLMs, those things you find them. Some of them are within the organizations you're working with. So the intelligent tutorial tools, examples of them, we have the Carnegie Learning, we have the Alex, we have the Squirrel AI, and all these are very important to teaching fields. Some of them starting from kindergarten to the highest level, you find these tools very, very helpful and very powerful. Mostly, what they do is that they can be able to provide you from the normal or from the normal way you are used to handling the classrooms. They provide you with some personalized learning experiences, and then they relate them or adapt the content that you have based on the student performance. If the student has interacted with it for long, it will be able to identify which type of a student is this, because the way they interact with it, the way they do their tasks, it can be able to tell because it's monitoring the progress. It can be able to tell whether the student is a fast learner, low learner, slow learner, or the moderate or medium or intermediate student. And then it can be able to recommend content and how the concepts can be simplified for the student to understand that. They analyze the student's behavior and learning patterns. Then they offer tailored feedback that are customized per that lesson plan and per that student's ability to understand and grasp the knowledge. And then they also adjust the content continuously as the student is interacting with them, because it has to study the pattern of the student so that it can be able to give other additional concepts. Most of you have visited websites and they require you to accept cookies or reject cookies. What are they? Cookies are website monitoring tools that are used to monitor and to provide you with recommended contents based on your history that you have always been going to that website to look for. For instance, you are in your YouTube channel and what you are watching is gospel related or church related. So, what you'll always get within that YouTube channel, you'll always get things related to that. Assume that you are online and most of the searches that you are doing are related to research. So what do you expect as the results? You will always find that Google provide you with always content related to research. If you're looking at methodologies, you'll always see their pop-up. Check this methodology, check this methodology, check this literature review, and so on. Why? Because it has studied and analyzed what do you like so that it doesn't guess for you. So it normally also keeps on adjusting to get into what you need. The other best tools that are used within these scenarios are what are called the Squirrel AI. So when you search for Squirrel AI usage, you'll be able to see how Squirrel AI operates, and mostly it's used by within the students sector, especially in Tokyo, Japan. You go to China, Pakistan, and so on. You find these are the tools that are being used for the students, and the student can easily learn and gain concepts other than the one that you are shouting with your CBC here, saying ba, cha, something, because there the student will start interacting with the tool at a tender age. That's why you find them, some of them have been given some tablets to interact with them. So the student's ability to learn and study patterns becomes so easy. Think of a child that you always have at the back of yourself. This child always studies the patterns and the way you are handling your phone without you knowing. So another day you'll just find this child has already unlocked your phone. You try to ask, how did you learn? And he'll tell you, me, I know how to do that. Even if this child does not even know how to speak or how to talk. But you know that these small kids mostly, they know even how to unlock your pattern. They know how to go where YouTube is to watch their cartoons. Yet you have not even taught them why. They always see you, how you are operating that phone. And you think he's very stupid. He doesn't know what he's doing. They are very clever. Because what they study most is they look at the pattern. What are you doing? What are you clicking? Where are you pressing? Virtual assistants are also other tools such as chat GPTs. Sometimes you can use chat GPT to prepare for you the lesson plan or the content for a certain specific area where you felt like the content was so complex. So you can upload it, ask it to summarize for you so that you can be able to execute it. You can even ask it the way you want it to tell you to do for you, maybe in a this simplified way, or I need an image to use for demo. You can be able to break it and then give it to you because it has access to all, even the designers of those books. We have Google Assistants, Amazon Alexas, and all these are used for educational purposes. So, as a lecturer, as an academician, or within, if you're working in the education sector, you need to be able to know that these tools are there and they are there to stay. And it is you to learn them and know how to use them. So, they act as assistant for you. Some of them can answer questions as they come. They can provide information and guide in learning within that structure. I saw the other day that statistics says that most of the teachers currently they are not using the old books for references, and because even the concepts that exist in the books, when related to the assessments that are taking place and the industry requirements, they are totally different. So the question should be, why should you stick to the old book yet it is not giving what the the market require? Because with the current generation, they want you to teach them or tell them what is on the ground, not what you are telling them that you need to apply it to do the concepts on the ground. No, they want it to be done the way they feel like this is the solution. I think that's why you see most of the government have problems with the current generation, the Gen Z format, because they'll tell you, I want you to teach me how to make money. Stop tossing me around on how to be a hard worker and whatever. You'll find them just locked in the rooms, just trying to find what is the way forward to get to make a certain coin. So when you find them flooded in TikTok at night or whatever, they are creating videos that they know they can get some money. They are monetized. Then they withdraw the cash and then they go and do their celebrations. You just find them doing that, find them they have bought an iPhone and so on. You start wondering, where is this child getting money? It is on those things that they are doing. They are creating videos, they go there to play, they do what? So you think that this is not the way you should be making money. You should be in class studying this to gain this. This I think the world has changed. We need to look at that. Use the national natural language processing. They use natural language processing to understand and respond to questions instantly as they come. They also integrate with learning management systems. Either it is Moodle, which you are using it under e-learning, or Dells that you're having. All of them are just Moodle. Some of them are also playing and added in Canvas, Google Classrooms, uh, Kudos, and so on. So we have very powerful tools that are used there, and most of them they don't get tired. Like a teacher, you'll get tired so that you can leave. They don't get injured, so they can provide you with 24/7 services support when you use them perfectly. So you can just search for Google Assistant for education. Google Assistant in education. So you don't need to find other many things that can disturb you and so on. So you just search for the Google Assistant in education, and then you can be able to get that aspect, and you'll be able to get all of them happening for you. So in case you need search, what you can be able to have or do within that space can be very important and powerful to your sector. So now we also have what is called the learning management systems with AI integrations. So here you have the Blackboard, the Canvas, the Moodle with AI plugins, which we have talked about. So you find that you have LMS platforms that use AIs to track some students' progress. You have those ones which can help you to recommend the resources and detect at risk students. And also some of them which provides with monitoring the students' engagement, assignments, submissions. They can use predictive analysis to identify learning trends. You can recommend additional resources based on the student performance and so on. So we also have what's called the Canvas LMS, which you can be able to search for it and then be able to see how they operate, the Canvas LMS. Then plagiarism detection tools, which we also said about the plagiarism. So plagiarism detection tools, we talked about Turnitin, Grammarly, Copylix, and so on. And we talked about their functionalities. We also have AI-powered content creation tools, which we say that when you use the Canva for education, Synthesia, and the Edu Puzzles, these are the AI tools that you can be able to use to create contents for your learning, for your students, for your lectures, and so on. These tools can help you to generate templates that you can easily modify, design them to suit your interest. They can enable automated transcriptions, subtitling for your video contents, and they can as well as allow the interactive elements to be added into your students' engagements. So they are very important tools. Now, to summarize on this, what are the benefits of using AI tools in research and teaching? Because in the next section, I'll be able also to share with you now more deeper on how these are being used within the research space for you to learn and utilize them. So, one of the benefits of you using these tools is that they are very efficient. They can automate for you repetitive tasks, saving for you time for deeper analysis. Then we have personalization, whereby they can provide you with customized learning paths and research recommendations, which you can be able to use them and gain the best results. We talk about accuracy, whereby errors are completely reduced. Citations management are being done very correctly within your research paper, and the content is being created very well related to what you really want. Even if you have created yours manually and you want to summarize them and streamline them, you can be able to use the tools. Scalability is also very important benefit that you have, because most of these tools enables you and the institutions to handle large amounts of data that you have with your students. And then you also have some continuous improvements. AI adapts over time. And because we say that they continue learning every day, provided that you are interacting with them. They are also becoming more effective when it comes to the usage than the manual format. So the other thing is, what are the challenges and the ethical consideration that you need to do? So when you are dealing with sensitive data, please, you can be able to know how to hide this information. Maybe you can remove the headers and then you can just ask it. You can remove some contact areas which are very sensitive, then you can leave the rest so that you can ask the AI tools to do for you. Then we have the biasness in AI, which has been there, but the main thing is what data was extensively used to train them. Is That's why they are much lenient to the other side. But as people interact with them, even across the countries, it starts to learn a lot, and then it can be able to respond to any question related to that area that you want. Then we have over reliance. If you over rely on the AI tools, then balancing these AI tools with human judgments can be very difficult. Uh, I would like to end with, how do you think AI can help you solve the biggest challenges in the research and education today? How do you wish? How do you think that can be achieved? Mostly, you need to encourage yourself to do critical thinking about the role of AI in solving real world problems so that you can be able to utilize it to do something very important. Then, which AI tools that we have discussed today have you find it most valuable for teaching? Have you ever used the Squirrel AI tools? Have you ever used the Google Assistant for education? Have you ever used Canvas for education? I want you to go and practice with them and then give the feedback the next session. Then, what are some of the potential risks or ethical concerns that you foresee as we move on and with the adoption of AI in every field, especially now in academic settings? Because you need to use them, they need to be used, or else you remain behind. So they promote discussions, responsible AI use, and ethical consideration, and so on. They also break the pattern of monotony, whereby you are just used to a certain sound and so on. How can educators now and researchers like you balance the benefits of AI without becoming too reliant on it? Have you ever done that? Have you ever come up with the concepts without you over relying on it? Have you ever thought of yourself, written yourself some your PowerPoint presentations and so on? So you ask yourself, so have you personally used AI tools in your work or studies? And if so, what was your experience? You can be able to share with us in the next session. These are questions that you can be able to respond in the next section. Now, as we conclude this discussion on these tools, because now what has remained is you now looking at these tools, and then shall also be able to practice with one of them the next session. Uh, One is that AI tools are reshaping the landscape of researching and teaching, and they make the process more efficient and personalized, other than saying that they are not. Also, when you understand how these tools work, you relieve yourself from bigger burdens too, of overthinking, of doing what, and yet you cannot be able to sort out the issue that you wanted to sort within a short period of time. Then we also consider ethical implications as a challenge, which ensures responsible use of AI. in academia for you to be able to stand tall. So we say that let the wise hear and increase in learning, and one who understands obtain guidance, as per Proverbs 1:5. So mostly we say that the importance of this continuous learning and seeking wisdom. Be a person who uses AI for research and teaching, and serve as the reminder of your technological, and impress them in gaining knowledge, but also seek understanding of your own guidance and the mind, and reading other books outside the AI tools. So these tools are very powerful and instruments to enhance your human capabilities, and also the ultimate goal should be throughout the growth and ethical decision making. So that makes the end of my discussion with you today. And my plea is that now this slide is done, and therefore you have time to go to each of these tools, search for it, and then be able to interact with the platform. Because interacting and clicking with that platform, I will be able to enhance more on your side and make you understand more better concepts the way you wish to have. So I think this one has covered several uh, sections, and I'm going to share with you that, so that next session we shall be able to start with the AI for research and publication, so that we can be able to look at some few elements here and be able to use to see which one will you be able to use as we move on. I think from Wednesday I'll be off for a burial. I have someone who is dead at home, and I'll be able to communicate on Wednesday. I think even me myself, I'm still weak and in pain, but we thank God we are still alive and moving on. So on Wednesday, 27th, I'll be traveling very far for the burial, and the burial is scheduled to be on 30th, although it's a funeral at home. So I have to be there to look at 1, 2, 3, so that from 28th is when I'll be there. 29th is when the requiem mass will be done and the body will be brought home. And then now on 30th, we do the burial. On first, we complete some few things that will be remaining, so that now I can travel back to the city on around second, so that we can be able to have a session on Thursday when I'm back to to the city. So I think that is in order. Tomorrow we shall have another session which will be making the end of that AI research area and teaching part, so that now the other remaining part we can be able to move with them once I'm back. So any question up to there? If there's no question, then we can be able to meet next time. Thank you for your time. I think I need to take a rest now. Goodbye.